revelations of incredible horrors that will terrify you with their brutal reality.
And we're here. Hi.
Hey, welcome to Coming Soon, where the Cinemondo gang, which is us, talks about trailers.
Pointing every which way but loose.
And be sure and subscribe.
Yeah,
We need
subscribe,
lots of
like,
subscribers, and you
comment.
get an alert when we do our live shows. You'll get to see all of our new content because there's there's so many movies to talk about. So definitely subscribe. You don't want to miss it.
We're becoming an empire, right? Like an
eminent
entertainment
empire.
We are. We're almost
a little
there.
troubling. But
It's
okay.
troubling. I know. It's like, what? I don't know.
Well, we love doing these trailer reviews, and there's so many movies.
I love trailers. I always have loved trailers.
So
my whole life.
When you're sitting in the theater and the trailers start rolling and it's something you didn't even know was coming, and it's like, oh my God.
They used to be, I think, a little more experimental and fun, but there's still good trailers out there once in a while.
Well, some of the old trailers used to be, bespoke as trailers, or it was a scene from the movie that wasn't in the finished movie or something.
Yeah.
You'd see a trailer that was like, I remember the original trailer for Alien had this sort of pan over these eggs, and they looked like regular chicken eggs that like had some kind of texture applied to them. And it was, there was like this misty thing. I'm like, what is that? Like about eggs or something? But
and then the crack in the big egg from the poster. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, what's this about?
What is that? Something about eggs.
Yeah. So we're going to do a story about eggs.
All right. So we're going
to talk about a film called
Eggs. Where's Edie?
Okay. A bunch of people probably turn this off.
No. We're going to talk about this movie that just premiered at South by Southwest in the midnight showing. It's called Jakob's Wife, starring Barbara Crampton and Larry Fessenden, getting good advance word, directed by Travis Stevens. So here is the trailer.
Let's take a look at this trailer. Let me find it so I can broadcast it for everyone. All right.
Mash that button.
I'm going to mash it as soon as I find it. There it is. Okay, everybody ready? Let's watch it.
How do you know, husband, whether you will save your wife?
You make plans for things.
I love Barbara Crampton.
Life happens.
Yeah, she's great.
I want to live a bigger life.
Larry Fessenden is really good too.
Anne, I am surprised that you wound up marrying Jacob. Whatever happened to the adventurous Anne?
This is so tempting.
Oh,
I just can't do it to Jacob.
Oh, shit.
Are you? That's odd. You've got new teeth coming in. What?
Weird.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's funny, the dental
change.
aspect.
I'd like to go out.
40 years I've known this woman. Every day the same.
She looks amazing.
How much of that could I get?
You want the blood?
I feel more alive than I have in years.
Hey, Mrs. Fetter, you all right? Mrs. Fetter?
Oh. Oh, boy.
It wasn't me.
Of course it was you! Why didn't you tell me when this first happened?
I felt ashamed.
As you should. Husbands.
Oh, he's handling it.
Wife. He who loves his wife loves himself. So effed up!
That looks heavy.
Oh, shit.
I want to make my own decisions from now on.
You ever see something you couldn't explain, Sheriff?
You don't know how to fight for me because you've never done it.
Give me the strength to save her soul!
We need to finish this.
Whoa.
How you gonna write this one up, Deputy? Domestic dispute? Non-violent?
Wow.
Well, I think we have a typo in our lower third here. It's spelled
not Jakobs.
Jakob's wife.
Jakobs' wife.
You know.
You're doing the Chiron quick.
I tried to have it both ways.
We got to fire our production staff. They're just not living up to the standards of our entertainment empire. But anyway, that looks like a pretty nutty kind of old school horror film. Speaking of, we were just talking about 80s films a little while ago, and this looks like an 80s film, doesn't it?
There, look, our Cairo person fixed it.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
And I think vampires have been sort of out of the zeitgeist since, I guess, the Twilight movies, but they had so kind of having her come back, and she's always good, and she sort of brings something to the role.
She's classic. She's iconic, I guess, in horror films, and
she is.
Oh, and she was so. I mean, I'll never forget her in Reanimator. She was so great, and I love in this trailer where she starts off. She's a little extreme. Her hair is pulled back. Her makeup's really neutral, and when she starts becoming more vampire, and that happens a lot in vampire movies, is she starts sort of almost blossoming. She looks better. She's got the cool haircut. She got the great makeup on. Like all of a sudden she's almost in a way like blossoming. And like she said, I've never felt more alive.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're a vampire, in some ways. And I like the whole teeth aspects.
Yeah. It seems a little kind of David Cronenberg-ish, the body horror kind of thing. It's like The Fly. I remember The Fly. Where it's like I never felt more alive. This whole like whatever is happening to me is making me into what I belong to be. And you kind of get that impression with a lot of vampire films, or some of the underground vampire films, where the people, when they become a vampire, it's like, this is what I've always wanted to be.
Yeah. And I think that having the husband be a priest or a pastor or whatever is kind of interesting, because how does he deal with it?
Well, he handled it instantly perfectly, as if he was waiting for this moment. He goes, I'm going to take care of it.
Maybe he's got experience.
Maybe he's a vampire hunter, but he can't bring himself to kill the wife,
Yeah.
Right. But he knew about the wooden stake thing, so.
Yeah. And I love too, like she went to the dentist and it's like, you have new teeth coming in. I mean, that's also like you were talking about David Cronenberg, where it becomes body horror. Like what would be the physicality of being a vampire? Like if it was actually happening, because you have the teeth coming in,
right?
You're not, it would
and
be.
the teeth have to go back in, like eventually the fangs go back in your gums.
Maybe they don't in this universe. It seems like they're growing in.
But that's always been the question, with vampires. You accept it as a supernatural thing when Bela Lugosi can turn into a bat, and the fangs can come out and then they go back in, and they can, see in the dark or whatever else they can do, and you just sort of accept it's not science. But this one maybe is a little bit of a foot in the science realm. Some vampire movies do. I remember there was a great book, I can't remember what it was now, I shouldn't even bring it up, but the idea of why do crosses, why does a cross, and it became this sort of a like a geometry phobia, that four intersecting right angles had some sort of an effect, sort of like a flashing light has on a person who's epileptic, that vampires have this sort of built-in biological aversion to that configuration of right angles, and that was kind of like an interesting. So it wasn't the Christian aspect of the cross. It's just the shape, this geometrical shape that no matter where they see it, it's like,
Yeah.
But it looks like a good movie. It looks like Shudder produces, so it might be available on Shudder, the streaming service. So
it's directed by Travis Stevens, who produced Starry Eyes, which is another really cool little horror film that has a strong female character in it. So it seems like he's sort of on that. So he's done some kind of high profile horror films. So this could be an interesting little take on the vampire. You think you're tired of it till you see something like this, and you're like, this looks fresh. I like this.
Looks like it's got a little humor to it, a little bit of wit, which is always fun in a vampire movie. I was thinking about that movie Near Dark recently.
That is fun. So vampires, I'll always watch a vampire movie if it has a little extra something different, a little twist. So
Jakobs' wife. Canon.
And Barbara Crampton. But I pretty much watched anything that she's in.
And Larry Fessenden is always good too. He's an interesting actor in a lot of low budget films, but he always delivers too as the husband. So we'll check it out.
All right.
Looks like a Cinemando movie.
We'll probably definitely reviewing this, I think.
Yeah.
I just see 11 people say probably definitely.
Yeah.
We'll probably definitely be doing this.
Possibility of a firm maybe. That
We
will-
might
There's
certainly
a
do it.
very definite possibility that we might do it.
Maybe for sure.
And I have Shudder, so if it's on Shudder, I'll be watching it.
Yeah, I do too. And for
All
sure, definitely subscribe, like, comment on this and all our other videos on our YouTube Cinemondo podcast channel. And thank you for doing that. And thank you
Channel.
for watching.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.